Three, two, one.
Hope all this is looking pretty good. I think. And let's see. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, it look good.
Let's see. Where's my phone? I guess I go on my phone. I want to make sure I'm framed up right, man, because it's damn. I don't know what it is, but it's literally like this way, but I'm centered like this. Get what I'm saying? Like where my hand is like on the outside of the camera, right? It's not like
Oh,
directly pointing at me. It's like it's fucking
huh.
weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
But but I'm centered like this, but like the lens literally is like right beside me. It's like it's going like it's super weird.
Yeah, you
Um,
must not have it perpendicular to you then.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just weird. It's ever since I got this setup, it's just like it's just
Are you
I
on
don't
the
know.
A7S3? Do you got the A7S3 yet?
No, I don't have the A7S3 yet. I told you, bro. I had some. We live right now, right?
Yeah, we live.
Okay. I can tell you what's
Yeah,
really going
talk
on.
about it offline.
Yeah, that's offline stuff right there. I'll tell you what's
Yeah,
going on offline stuff right there. But no, I don't have it yet though. I don't have it. I was supposed to have it when I got back on, but
so
but
what's
no,
your
I don't have.
what's your timeline looking like now?
Uh, it's probably maybe a couple weeks because I do got to get the couple weeks because I got all these shoots set up. I know when I got back, I set up a lot of shoots. So now I got like at least 4 or 5 like set up just for next month.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I had one yesterday. I was gonna go, but I ended up leaving my tripod in the car. And about the time I got to the location, I was like, I'm not walking back up there because it
Man,
was filled with ducks.
you did that on purpose because of who it was, man.
No, no, actually,
Don't make me hop on a flight, bro. And come holla
guess
at
what?
you, man.
Guess what? It was not her. Actually,
Oh, okay, okay.
it wasn't her. I ended up shooting with one of my other regulars, becoming a regular. I ended up shooting with Cindy yesterday, actually,
Yeah,
and because the other one and her and actually both the models. I had both the models because, like I said, I'm still trying to do the flying dresses, bro. And I was gonna get the model that you know of, Jenny, and then I was gonna get another one. There's another Latino, and I was gonna have them both wear them and kind of do like a Latin type feel with it in the city. But they both end up canceling on me, so it's just like whatever. So then once that happened, like I knew about it like a few days before that. It wasn't like just rush call. I knew about a few days, but then I was like, well, I still want to kind of shoot. I haven't shot in a while. It's my first shoot coming back, so I had to like Cindy, and she was like, I'm free. So I was like, all right, I'll come up there and shoot. So I ended up shooting with her.
yeah. So you plan on using the A7S3 just for video, or are you gonna use it for photo stuff too?
Strictly video. Everything's going to be strictly video. I'm going to use it, and then my thing of it is I'm still trying to debate on what lens I'm going to get with it. To be honest, because right now I'm shooting on the kit lens right now, the 28-70, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
variable aperture. So it's I think it's 3.5 to 5 or something like that, being 3.5 on the 2080N, and on the 70, of course, I think 5. But that's fine. I think that's a good video lens. I've been
Yeah.
using it. I think it's pretty much purposeful for what I do anyway, because you know what I'm saying, I'm never really shooting at low apertures anyway. I'm doing my BTS is always around the 3.5s or whatever, just to kind of get both of us in good view there. So it's never at a low aperture. So, but before that, because I sold my regular kit, like I said, I sold my regular kit. I got to use my A7R3 yesterday just to record the BTS. So
Yeah.
like I had to I literally had to use that because I sold my whole kit for vacation. So I sold the whole my YouTube kit that I've been having for years. I sold everything. So which was pretty awesome though. I was actually pretty good. I got 800 for it, like I told you in the text. I ended up getting selling it for 800 for it, and that was with the A7S3. I mean not the A7S3, sorry, the A6300. Been filtered with just about everyone's about 100, ran about $120. Then I gave them the 31.4 with that, and then they end up with the kit lens, and then with the charger and like 5 extra batteries. You know how that kind of goes. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was still a pretty good deal that I ended up selling it for. Plus, I was trying to, like I said, my goal was to have it before I even went on vacation. But you know.
Yeah. So what's your setup? What do you use for photo stuff?
Yeah, it's always it's always the old trusty.
I don't know
He's
what is that?
charging up right now. The Z7's
Okay.
charging up right about now with the 45. So yeah, that's still my photo. That's still my main photo camera.
So you're
It's
gonna have
going,
your Z7 for your
yeah,
photo, and then at some
yeah,
point the A7S III for your videos.
video, yeah. And then when what Nikon camera comes out, high megapixels. That's something I like doing it for my photos. Then I'll probably get that, and then probably just have this A7R backup mode.
Yeah. How many
Uh,
megapixels is that Z7? Is it the Z7
uh,
one or Z7 two?
just the first one, but it's,
You said it's 45.
yeah, 45 megapixels. Two. Yeah, I like anything in the 40 range. Like
Yeah.
I'm all good. 40 and above for me.
Yep. Me too. That's why that was the one thing that really stopped me from getting the R3. Like if the R3 would have
Mm-hmm.
been 45, 50 megapixels, I would have bought it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's up, Hassan.
Is it?
I understand like their thought process of creating art from that too. But I guess I was just confused on why they couldn't do both. Like why not have a 50 megapixel and then have a 24 megapixel mode? You know what I'm saying? Like in 2022, give everybody like put everything in there. You know what I'm saying? So that
Exactly.
way, people that want the high megapixel, boom, they got it. The people that only want 24, boom, they got it. Everybody happy. You just sell them more cameras.
Now, like, when was the first time when you switched over to 24 to a high megapixel?
Man, it
And
was actually
what
when I
was your
bought my
experience?
5D4. So let's see. I was rocking the 6D2, which is
Mm-hmm.
26, and then I got the 5D4, which was 34. And
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty happy with the 34, but there would be times where like if I was doing headshots, 34, it just depending on how much you want to crop, it just left me wanting a little bit more. And then when that D850 came out, that D850 came out, that thing was what 50, I think 40 something 50. I think it was
Nah,
50.
the D850 was 45 too.
Yeah. So when the D850 came out, that's why I was so jealous because everyone had more megapixels. So at the time, Canon they had the 5DSR, but that was really studio specific. Like the autofocus
Yeah.
wasn't fast on that. Like that wasn't going to work for my everyday job. So that D850 came out, and I'm just like, man, not only does it have the megapixels that I want, but man, all the features that it had in that thing, like
Mm-hmm.
I was legit contemplating selling all my stuff just to get that D850.
Exactly. I think my experience was close to your experience. Like I said, I started off with a which I still got down here to this day. Actually took that on vacation. To go. Matter of fact, let me get it real quick. This is where my Nikon journey began at right here. I'm gonna show
Well,
you.
what up, Dean? What up, Dean? Go ahead,
I'm gonna
send me
show
some
you.
of them. Send me some of them cameras and lenses, man. You buying all them
Yeah,
cameras and lenses and stuff, man. Go ahead,
I'm
hook
gonna
me.
show
Boy.
you
I
exactly.
don't
This is
have a RF flash yet.
right here. This is where it all started at. This little.
What is that? A Sony or is that a Nikon?
That's a Nikon.
Okay,
This is where the journey started at. Right.
yeah,
The
little
only
point
reason,
joint.
yeah, point and shoot. Right. Because the only reason why I did it because I was traveling a lot and I was using my phone, so I was like, I want something to just take a little bit better photo. So I ended up purchasing this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's all that good jazz. So I ended up buying this. So then after a while, I got used to that or whatever. Then I was like, okay, this ain't doing it no more. I want something a little bit better. So
Yep.
then I ended up getting like a D100. Play with that for a little bit. Then it just kind of just starts snowballing from there. I was like, oh, now I need to get the full frame. Or not full frame. I was like, I need to get a better this because this ain't cutting it. So I ended up getting a D7200, which was, at the time, top of the line APS-C camera for that kind. And then from there, I was like, okay, I need to get full frame now. I was like, I gotta go full frame. So I ended up getting a D750, right? And we all sitting around the 24 megapixels. But then when I end up pre-ordering that D850, and I seen it was 45, and I went out and started playing with it because I was still doing landscape at this time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I went out there and shot those landscape pictures and I seen the details from different from the D750, it sold me. Ever since then, I said, "Oh yeah, I need nothing but 40 and above when I shoot." Portraits didn't even come into my mind yet before that, because like I said, I was still strictly shooting landscapes at that point in time. But even the details landscape, I was like, "Oh yeah, I need nothing but 40 and above." And then of course, when I start progressing myself to portraits, and I still was using my D7200 with a couple of portraits, but then when I was doing the side by side, I was like, "Oh." 40 and above is where it's at for me. I can't do with nothing else less, because the details in it is just people that say 24 is enough, right? But once you get in the high, it's just like once you go that high, you're just like, oh no, I need
See,
that in
so
detail.
here's my issue with like the whole "it's enough" thing, or it's
Mm-hmm.
good enough. This that it's like that is true. Like
Yeah.
in most situations, do you even need 24 megapixel? No. Do you need
No.
it's like when that Sony what was it the 8 no yeah the A7S3, because that's the 12 megapixel joint.
Correct.
So everybody, the Sony fanboys is, defending the 12 megapixels. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
more than enough for photo, this, that, and the other. And it's like, you know what? That's true. It is. But I think, to me, man, I feel like sometimes people are so brand centric, brand heavy, that it's like they justify stuff just because. And it's just like, well, yeah, it is
Yep.
enough. But just because it's enough sometimes doesn't mean that it's like, it could have been better. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's
Exactly.
like, if your camera autofocus isn't as good as another brand, it's like, yeah, it gets the job done, but could it have
Yeah.
been better? You got to be
Yeah.
honest and say, yeah, like there's things that it's like Canon brings stuff out. Yeah, it works, but could
Mm-hmm.
it have been better? Yes. Now, if I was a
Exactly.
Canon fanboy, I'd be defending them to the death. Like, oh, I mean, who needs this? Who needs that anyway? Like the eye autofocus is good enough. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
might be, but could it be better? Like when you look at what other manufacturers are doing and you see the potential of what could be, you can't deny that it's like, yeah, sometimes it's like, yeah, they did enough, but it could have been better. It could have been more.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's the way I feel about megapixels. It's like, no, I need 45. Once again, like I said, I did a video on my channel a long time ago about the reason why I even got a Sony was simply because I wanted megapixels. Two, it was cheaper than me getting the Z6 or the Z7 at that time. So for me, it was perfect. I'm getting what I want. Yeah, is it a difference? Yeah, granted, but the only thing that really matters to me was the megapixels, right? That was
Yeah.
the sole reason. Of course, I ended up getting it for $1,200 reason too, but but the main factor was the megapixels,
So
right? It's like
today,
I needed it.
for a for your portrait stuff, what would
Mm-hmm.
be your main, like if you was looking to get a camera today, what would be
Mm-hmm.
like the top three must haves for that camera to have for you to pick it up today?
Megapixels, high megapixels, at least 40 and above. Well, 45 because but 40 number 45. So 45 and above. I don't. I can't say if I would like the 61 because I never even shot with the R5, so I don't even know if it's that much of a difference. Nor have I ever like downloaded from people on YouTube and check out the file, so I don't really know how much of a difference it really is from 45 to 61. But anyway, anything over 45, I would say eye autofocus, of course, and then oh man, that's good. What would the third one be? So that's pretty much all I need. I need good focusing, megapixels. I will say ergonomics, but at the same time, it really don't make a difference once you get used to the cameras, right? I like the feel of the Nikon just because it's a little bit bigger and deeper than the Sony, technically. But at the I have bigger hands regardless of the situation. Like all of my Nikon and my Sony has a L bracket to help my pinky because I just have bigger hands anyway. And even then, my pinky still don't fit on the thing we even with the L bracket with the extension. Really large hands. So ergonomics is, I don't know. I think once you just get used to it, it's all the same.
See,
Then once you start getting muscle memory.
I would still say ergonomics, because I
Would
think
you?
I feel like even if you get used to it, it don't mean that it
Mhm.
feels good. Like you just used to it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
but
you sit in a chair that don't feel comfortable. Like you get used to sitting in it, but it still sucks, and
yeah,
it still hurt after 15
that's
minutes.
that's true. But I guess with my hand size, I guess it don't matter. I guess if that like us, because to me they both feel the same. They're both they're both the same exact to me in my hand, just because I have hands. So I think like the ergonomics just wouldn't be. I guess it just wouldn't be that important to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because my hand size is so large.
I would have to say, yeah, it would be for me. I think it would be, yeah. I gotta have the megapixels. That's key. The eye auto, man, it's even tough to even say eye autofocus because for my needs, man, do I need it to get any better? Not really. I mean, if it
Yeah.
gets better, that's a bonus for me. But for what I do, I'm not doing sports. I'm not really doing a whole lot of fast action. So for what I do,
Hmm.
R5 is more than sufficient. Like I
Yeah.
definitely want to try to pick up. I want to try to pick up that R3 to man just to test that out, and actually try to do it before I move because
Yeah.
Sammy's back home. They had the R3 and the Z9 available to rent. So I sent them an email and asked them how much it was, and they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
call us." I'm just like, "Just tell me how much it is."
Yeah.
It's
Just
like,
tell you, I'm already.
what conversation do we need to have? Like, how much? And I think I asked them like, "What's the per day cost to rent the R3?"
Yeah.
Give us a call and so we can discuss your needs. And I'm like, "Nah, just tell me how much it costs." So I never ended up. At that point, I never ended up calling them, and then eventually I moved, so that didn't happen. But I do want to try to find a camera store here that I can rent stuff from. I would love to rent that R3 and put it up against the R5 just to see how much better, if any, the autofocus is over the R5.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess autofocus is important, but I guess like you were saying, it's for us what we do. It's enough. Like I don't need the the super black. I don't need the super duper tracking. Like yeah, I don't know. I'm not too much of autofocus. Like the autofocus that I have, like I said, that's why the Z7. Like they updated that. That works perfectly fine for what I do. You know what I'm saying? We're mostly stagnant. Messing with stagnant subjects all the time. So for what we do, seven works just fine.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if you get commissioned for a job and what you have doesn't work, just rent what you need.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like
Now I
look
was
at what
thinking
you do
about
on a day-to-day basis and go from there. So yeah, I mean, like, I love the R5 having those megapixels. I mean, that was the
yeah.
sole reason. Literally, that was the sole reason why I bought the R5 over the R6. Like, I literally paid $1,200 extra dollars or however many dollars it was, literally just to have more megapixels. That was the
Exactly.
only reason that I
Yeah.
bought the R5 because I'm like, no, I want those megapixels, so I have the ability. Like, it's transformed my headshot workflow because
Oh yeah, I bet.
now when I do headshots, I basically shoot just about every headshot half body
Hmm.
when I'm doing headshots, and then that gives me
Yeah.
the ability to do whatever I need to do with that headshot in post, and still have even if I'm cropping it down half, it's still a 20 megapixel image, which is more than enough, for
Exactly.
so
And I think a feature that really goes unnoticed when I have my DA50. I don't. I think it's in the Z7 if I'm not mistaken, but I don't never use it. That's the reason remember at the point, but I'm pretty sure it's in the Z7 as well. But the way we can still even change our raw sizes, so if we don't even need that 45 and we can still get the 24, you know what I'm saying? There's just nothing but a simple setting that was, I think, pretty sure it's in the Z7 as well. So even if you don't even want to use all those megapixels for whatever reason, to dumb it down to 26 or 24, how much it lets you
yeah,
still get. So I actually think that was actually a pretty good feature. It's like, it's okay, so why wouldn't you not get a 45 megapixel, especially if Nikon lets you dumb it down to 24 anyway? It's to save
yeah.
space. I still don't understand why you would do it, but
How big are the Z7? How many megapixels is that Z7?
40.
Yeah, how big are the files?
I shoot uncompressed, say around 60 to 70 maybe.
Yeah, so I think, man, I think
Compressed is about 60 to
other
70.
Sony, the 61 megapixel joint, I think, man,
Mhm.
those files were like 100 to 125 megs a piece, which is wild.
Oh yeah, and
Like
that's another thing
that's
too. Even
crazy.
even with the Sonys, like they don't even give you that ability to like dumb down, to use like a medium, instead of like using a large raw, which dumbs down the megapixels like it does in the Nikon. So it's just, if you're gonna have that, if it's nothing but like a firmware update where you can do that, I'm software issue that you can do that. But I think all manufacturers should have that, put that in their camera where if you want 24, then dumb it down to 24,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
which is which is. useful for Nikon. Once again, I never use that. I didn't use my DA50, and I'm not using 45. I'm gonna shoot with 45.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
Yeah, my R5. I mean, it basically is about a meg per megapixel. So on average, depending upon settings,
Mm-hmm.
the files is only like 40 to 50 megs a piece, which is manageable. If I had that A74 or R4, whichever one was before me, if I was getting 120 meg files
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly, that would deter me because man, that's a big file, and like everybody's like, oh yeah, but you want that's true, but I have like first of all, I keep
So
every
let
raw
me let
image.
me.
I call through it, and I keep every raw image. That's number one. Number two, I have 4 backups total. So if I'm having 120 meg files, and I'm having 30, 40, 50 gig photo sessions, man, like that just doesn't work for me in terms of my archive process. So that would definitely deter me big time. Yeah, I know Hassan mentioned that Canon
That was on
maybe
my
with
end.
the R1, they're rumored saying it might be 100 meg. I'm probably gonna buy that R1 regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether I need it or not, I'm probably gonna buy the R1. It's gonna be expensive as hell. I already know it because
Yeah,
when you look at the cost of the R3, so you know the R1 gonna be more than that. So it's gonna be in like 7,000, 7,500 territory. But I'm gonna buy it though.
yeah. I'm going to iteration of whatever comes out. Either that's the Z8 or the Z7 III, whichever iteration comes out with. And of course, it gives me some of the autofocusing of the Z9. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, video thing to get that S3. So as far as that, it's just all about just kind of just updating, uh, just getting updated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm also contemplating. I gotta be better at staying up with the comments. I get in these and I just start talking.
I was gonna. So what? So what?
I can't.
Because
I
you were
can't
talking.
be doing that.
Because you were just talking about how the mega files be told. So what is your workflow? What is your workflow after you finish doing a shoot? Like how do you import it, export it, and then for your keepers? Because for me, what I end up doing, like I come back, import it into Lightroom, and then I do whatever I got to do, and then I export it in TIFF to work with it in Affinity Photo, and then what I end up doing is exporting it back in 8-bit photo, then I re-import it back into Lightroom. But I do keep my original photos. You also keep your original photos, and then um, as well.
Yeah. So, uh, I do a shoot. I get back to the house, dump them all on a. So I have them on the car. Immediately put them
Mm-hmm.
to a hard drive, and then I keep them on the card. So that way I got 2 copies of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So then once I get them all in, then I call them. So I basically just go through and get rid of any that are not in focus. That's basically like my initial call. That's all I'm
Yeah.
looking at is if they miss focus, like if they're not tack sharp, especially. So I kind of have a scale. Like if it's close up, the eyes got to be tack sharp or it's
Yeah.
out because you're gonna notice that if there's a little bit smaller in the frame, I have a little bit different of a scale of how I judge if I keep it or not. But I basically look for that, or I look for like bad facial expressions or
Yeah.
somebody blink, things where it's just like, if I know I got enough images, like I'm not going to worry about trying to keep those. So I basically call those down. And once they're all called down, then I go through and I rename them. And then
Okay.
once I rename them, then that's when I back them up on my other 3 drives at that point.
Okay.
So then at that point, they're good to go. And then once they are all backed up, then I format the cards. That way the card is good to go. Then I go through the
Okay.
process, and I mean, if I'm picking the pictures, which these days I don't do that anymore, just because of the way that I do my sessions. Like my clients pick what photos they want to purchase, so I don't have to go through them anymore and pick them. But like if I do like
Yeah.
even when I do collabs, I mean, I let the people pick the pictures they want for collabs too. So yeah,
Oh
these days
yeah.
I don't have to go through and pick. But when I did, I would just go through real quick. and just one star the ones that stood out to me, and then I would
Yeah.
just keep doing that until I got down all the way up to 5 stars, till I got to like however many that I was delivering.
Yeah. So an exact workflow because I still pick photos, but I send my photos to the whatever model. I really kind of do my process afterwards, but I send it to them and they pick it as well. But I may go through and pick a few if they whatever they don't pick, then I. But as far as that, I am going to tell you something. I don't back up my photos. I feel like
Oh, you don't care about your joints, man.
let me be the first one to come out here and tell y'all this, guys. I do not. I have one hard drive. I know I am living
Bruh.
recklessly out in these streets, bro. I got one
So I
hard drive.
mean, so the question would be, if you lost all your photos, would you care? Because if you don't
Man,
care if you lost all your photos, then it
hey
don't
man,
matter.
they lost, bro. I will say this though. Let me bring it back. I have been having this one hard drive for years. I did probably about I don't know, probably last year, maybe about 8 months ago. I did back up the majority of them, but then I need to back up it. So now I probably got like 4 months of stuff not backed up. But for years I didn't have a backup though. I only have
That's
yeah.
crazy, man.
I'm
Yeah,
reckless. I'm reckless out in these streets.
I've been backing my stuff up from day one, man. Because I've been a backup kind of guy my whole life,
I'm
man. Like
reckless. I'm reckless
I'm
in these
all
streets,
about
man.
redundancy, so I've been backing
Let
stuff
me knock on wood, bro. Let me knock on wood. Nothing happened because I'm gonna be honest. I will be pissed off if I lose. I will be pissed. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't have anything. What's called? I did at one point in time. I had watched Blaze, but for some reason that was kind of like messing up. For some reason, it wasn't really, like really backing up because it's external and I had it wirelessly. I don't know. Like it was working at first and it didn't work, and then ever since then, I don't even know what the hell's backed up. I'm still paying whatever how much it is a month, and I don't even know what's going back up on there. To be honest with you, so I did
yeah.
have a place, but you know what I'm saying, like something was going on, and I just really haven't. Damn, now thinking about it, I haven't checked on anything, and I need to do that. Actually, I'm thinking about it.
So everybody in the comment, what is y'all's everybody watching? What is y'all's backup process? Do y'all back y'all's files? If you do back them up, do you back them up on just one drive, two drive, three drives? Do you back up to the cloud? Using SSDs, regular hard drives? You got a NAS storage? Like how you backing this stuff up? What up,
Yeah,
RBJ? RBJ, man, you
yeah.
didn't. Unless I missed it, you didn't go live. You didn't go live again with your nephew, man. I was waiting to see you on the IG live. Unless I missed it, I don't be on IG, so you might have went back. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just. Yeah, I'm reckless out in these streets. Like I said, I did have a system though. I ain't gonna say, but longest time though, talk for real. I didn't have a backup, and then I just like I wasn't backing up my photos. I got this one hard drive which is sitting right over here, and I just didn't back it up. And my plans was to actually kind of get a to back it up, and then once because they start getting nervous about it, then I bought the backup Blaze, and once that was working pretty well. But for some reason, I don't know, a few updates or whatever the case may be, but then it started having really problems like backing up the drive on whatever it is. So I know some of my stuff is backed up on Backup Blaze. I don't think all of it. Once again, I haven't checked that thing in a year. I do not know what's being backed up on there,
Yeah,
as far as my photos wise. But I do also got a hard drive. Like I bought that part about 8 months ago, and I was backing up that other stuff on there until I just said I was going to go back and did it, and never did it. So I do probably next weekend or probably tonight or something, since I'm on top of it. I'm kind of nervous now. I got myself nervous. I'm gonna go through and check out the whole entire backup system, and I'm probably
hey,
going to
yeah. I don't,
go
I
ahead and
don't,
let all
I
the
don't
backup.
have any. I don't have any auto backup. Like I manually do all mine, just because I don't know. I just haven't set up. So I don't have any. I don't have a cloud backup. I just do all externals, and I keep one on site. I keep one in the safe, and I keep two off
Mhm.
site. So yeah, I don't have any cloud
So,
stuff. And really, the only reason I don't have cloud stuff is just because I think right now, I think I'm sitting at like 2 point. I think last time I checked, I was at like 2.4 terabytes of
uh-huh.
just like raw photo files.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find a cloud backup where I could just
Mhm.
send them a drive and they just upload the stuff and then send me the drive back, or not even, because dude, it would take like, especially now with the internet that I got now, it would literally take a month to
Would
upload
you
2.5 terabytes of data.
have you black backup Blaze though?
Say what?
Have you looked into black backup Blaze?
No, I haven't looked into any.
Yeah, that's because I know
But I mean,
whatever they do.
what's the how's that like how would that can I send them a drive and they just upload it for me?
I don't know. That's what I was asking. 'Cause I don't know. I just know as if anything fell on my end, they would actually send me a drive back on my photos. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it works the opposite way around, to be honest. But I would get it in return if they do it that way. I'm pretty sure you can do it the other way where you can send them your drive and they'll probably back it up count so you can have it there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just my thought process.
that's what I gotta find. Because if I could find something like that, I would back it up. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, yeah, it would be cool to have the cloud. But since I keep key
Mhm.
drives off site. And if it see so like that was there's been people that are like, yo, you should just get like a Drobo or some other kind of NAS storage like that. And I tell people all the time, like the problem with that is, yeah, you got multiple backups, but they're literally all in the same spot. So if my place
Exactly.
burns down or it gets robbed, like all your stuff is still in one location. Like that's not
Exactly.
redundancy. So it's like, yeah, you have a backup, but that's just for drive failure. Like that's the only thing that really helps solve is drive failure. It's like outside of that, I want to be able to have where it's like if something happens, I know that I got those photos somewhere else. But the crazy thing is, I got all these photos on these drives, and I'll never go back to them. I'll
No,
never
no,
go back to
we
them.
never do. We never do. Nobody ever does.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the point? Like I got them, but I hardly ever go back to
I
them.
can only see it. I can only see it as probably in your case where you're a full time photographer, somebody that you years ago and you already archived their files and saying like, I lost all my stuff. Is there any way that you can give me my photos back? That's the only I can see people going back and
Yeah.
going back to stuff, situations like that.
Which I've had to do that before. There's been a couple clients that have hit me up.
Yeah, so I guess I can
Their
see why it's
stuff.
important. But yeah, I got a lot of damn storage clouds. This place is ridiculous. Like I
So
believe
how
in.
do you
Well, my problem is I
how do
haven't
you
checked it.
like what's your file management for your files like? Like how do you do your folders?
Well, everything is. I mean, they automatically create folders for you. So that's the thing about it. Like I don't really import it and give it a name. They already break it down on your hard drive for you. So I necessarily don't do anything because Lightroom does it for me. And I guess that's another reason why I like Lightroom because it's so organized where I don't have to be. But far as is when I was backing up my stuff, like I would archive like all the stuff I already, and then I would delete like my raws out of the Lightroom catalogs just to kind of condense that up. So I would do that and just keep like my final photos, but I will still compress, zip my photos. So keep the finals in the catalog of Lightroom and then get the raws in there. So I got that whole setup going on. So where I do archive, but I haven't done it in months though. I need to really do it though. I haven't done it in months. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. Like I just haven't done it in months.
Yeah, see, I think I'm I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is like this. If anybody else is for people out there, tell me if y'all do it this way, or if y'all do it the regular way. So I feel like the regular way, like most people that use Lightroom, they upload their files and they just keep all of their stuff like in that catalog. So they have this catalog
Mm-hmm.
that have all of their pictures in it. I don't do that. Like I literally will import a folder to work on it, and then once I'm done with the folder, I remove it. So my catalog is always empty. Like the only thing that's in my catalog is the sessions that I'm working on at that time
Okay.
done. And then once they're done, I save the JPEGs that I send to the client, and then I take them out of the Lightroom catalog. Like I don't keep them all in there because I don't. To me, I don't know. Like I don't understand why you would need to. And then it just makes the catalog heavy and bloated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't see the point.
Yeah, that's true. That's rid of all my raws, especially if it's something that's the reason why I've been getting on. But at the same time, I actually been keeping them here lately. I guess the reason why I haven't really done it either way because I use stuff like so. I use their whole their whole synchronized feature with everything. Right, even have a little thing on there on Lightroom where it's like almost like a community of photographers. Or you can go in the community tab and then you can like upload your photos and it just shows like the editing process. So so here that. Like that's the reason why I stopped like taking out my raws, because I was uploading it on the Lightroom community and just so they could edits, and that's what I've been doing. That's another reason why I stopped kind of doing. I use everything kind of Lightroom, like from sending the models the photos, the stuff is through Lightroom. I don't never everything I do is through Lightroom now.
Yeah, I haven't tapped into that yet. I've watched what up, Tay? I've watched a couple videos on it just to kind of get an idea. Cause see, right now I just send a Dropbox.
Yeah.
Let me know if it works. And I got to move away from that because I know, like, I haven't had a problem with that client wise or collaboration wise. I mean, people do it, but it's just I know it's not the most efficient way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need something to where they could just go through and just star
Yeah.
something, and that's it. Like, they don't have to remember numbers and send me numbers and stuff.
Exactly. And I think what you just said was when I first got the game, I was using Google Drive doing the same exact numbers and things of that nature. So when I watched that video or whatever the case may be, years ago, and I actually had this feature where I could just send them the link and then they started all synchronized with me. I was just like, oh, this is keeps it organized where I don't got to remember numbers, all of that jazz. Like everything's just in there and it works for me. So then when it's time for them to download it, because all they're gonna do is download those JPEGs or whatever. I don't even know what they offer on JPEGs. All I know is they got a little button. Allow downloads. I send it to them, so I don't know whatever they download. I don't know, how Lightroom maybe does it. I just don't care. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like I'll just let Lightroom deal with that stuff now. So I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder what they let them. As far as like resolution, I don't wonder if they give them like the full res JPEG or are they like compressing it. Now I want to know.
I mean, you should be logging into it as if you are a client to see what they're.
Yeah, I know.
You know the answers to these questions.
Yeah, now I'm interested. I'm like, are they giving them the full res JPEG that I end up giving them, or are they just like compressing it, doing it?
You got to walk through the whole process so you know. But so when you have, you said you pick the photos for your people, or you let them pick?
No, they pick the photos. I just send them the link, and then they go through it. Like I said, I got a few videos showing the whole system. Send them that link, and they just I don't know what's on. I don't know what. And I'm gonna be honest. I never signed stuff, and I let them just kind of. When they ask me questions, I'm just like, yo, just press the heart. It was synchronized. That I know. Sat down and looked at the interface on their my end.
I don't know if it's just me or not, but your mic keep cutting in and out.
It's probably me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it good now? Yeah. Like I said, I don't never do anything on like I don't know on the user it really produces out their whole end. I need to because I need to know so I can explain it to them. So far for me. So
what is JPEG Mini? I've never even heard of it. What is it?
I've heard no JPEG Mini. I guess a new one. I know. Matter of fact, since Ike's in the room, I want to know, Ike, does that Z9 dumbs down megapixels for you if you shooting like medium raw or small raw? I got this camera right here. I'm pretty sure the Z7 does. Let me look at it. I'm pretty sure the Z7 doesn't. Because I know for a fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that JPEG Mini. So how many pictures do you let your clients get? How many pictures?
I tell them to pick up to 15.
And so that's for both clients and collab?
Yeah. I tell them, no. Clients is totally different. Like I have a set, which is probably around 15 as well. Like it's whatever different packages I have, it tells the number in it already.
Yeah. So for your collabs, you do 15, and you edit those?
Between the 10 to 15, yeah.
10 to 10. Edit them? You do full edits on them?
Mm-hmm.
That's generous. 15 is generous for full edits.
Tell me about it.
I do 8. I'll do 10 to 12 if it's somebody that I'm real cool with, or if the session is we have a bunch of different looks. But typically, I do 8. They pick 8.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
But I mean, I keep that number low because I do full on edits on those. Like I edit those pictures. Sometimes I edit.
Okay.
I edit those the same way I edit a photo that a client purchases. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I keep that number down because it takes
Hey,
me a
hey
little.
Todd, tell me about it because I've been here lately because I've been so busy with other things and I'm in my photos in time. And when I be seeing the photos that they pick, I'm just like, yo, I gotta squash this. Now it's just too damn much.
Yep.
Like I really be dreading it. Like I'm just like, fuck, this is way too much fucking edits I gotta do, man.
Yep.
To be about the crap, like, oh, you gonna get it? I'm just like, yo, bro, I want to get it to you. Gotta give me some time, man. You just really gotta give me some time. But I was gonna go back to the thing, but yeah, looking at my Z7 to make sure it does do it. I don't know if you can probably see it, but I put it up to the camera if it focuses. But as you can see,
Yep.
so that's one of the benefits of having this Z7, and you could be able to switch out what megapixel you want by doing the raw, small, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I think
Pretty awesome.
the R5 has that as well. I never use it.
I think they all. I'm not going to use it. I'm never going to use it, but I think it's a good feature to have. Just I guess the only people that really kind of would. I guess like with the Z now come out, right? Like if a sports shooter, do they really need? Probably not. You know
But
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? So
yeah, I mean, I feel like a sports shooter probably shooting JPEG too, though.
yeah, on top of that,
They
JPEG files are still going to be
just
pretty big,
off
right?
of that stuff. That stuff is getting networked to somebody in a room somewhere, and then getting used on the
Yeah,
next
but
commercial break.
you're
You
right,
know?
right? But
So,
if you're talking about speed, those files are still pretty big, even in JPEG. So why wouldn't you want to dumb it down to 25
yeah,
so you
yeah,
it get there fast,
yeah.
faster?
Definitely, I'm sure a
So
sports shooter would.
yeah, so I can see a feature like that, but anybody else, I just thing that's nice to have in the camera. Once again, I would never ever use it, but it is a small thing, nice
I
little
think
small thing.
the only other benefit, just depending upon what camera you have, would just be
Mhm.
buffer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you got a camera that the buffer is decent, and it's like you don't need 45 meg, and it's like you just shooting some stuff and you just want more buffer. It's like you just
Exactly.
or call it a day. It's easy.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
long are y'all sessions? Man, my sessions are super short. I have to. I got to reevaluate everything because now that I'm out here in Vegas, I don't
Mhm.
have to be as aggressive with my time. But my portrait sessions in LA, my portrait sessions were 30 minutes. Engagement sessions was 45 minutes. Family session, or no, family session was 45. Engagement was an hour and a half, I think. Headshot sessions were 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So I had to be real aggressive with time in LA because there was a lot of commute,
Mhm.
a lot of drive time. So I would spend on average, I would spend no less than an hour and a half round trip for any given session. Like unless it was
Okay.
close to where I lived at, or if it was, I was able to get it to where I had this session and then I was going to the
Mhm.
next session and it was kind of close enough. But on average, it was an hour and a half round trip of drive time for every session that I did. So I didn't have the luxury of having a, hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hour session.
Mhm.
Like that's half my day. I'm basically getting one session a day. Like I just put one in. So
I got experience than you because most of mine are collabs and for content only. So client work, they're all when I do get the clients or whatever the case may be, I do have everything in packages and how much time it gives or whatever the case may be. But I'm collab and content creating because that's what I mostly do now. So for that, time already varies. I would always say about 90 minutes just because I got minutes is about how long my sessions pretty much go. That's just from like video, doing video work, then doing photos in within that 90 minutes. Uh, I'm starting to get a little bit faster nowadays. Like yesterday, when me and Cindy shot yesterday, like we probably about an hour, 45 minutes. Like the shoot time alone don't take that long. Like shoot time, get 30 minutes, and then I'm done. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the other stuff that's really starting to keep my time, within 90 minutes. Because you got to do video. Then when they change outfits, I got to think about doing video, when they change outfits. And especially if I'm trying to creep in and try to do a little video portrait. So I got to make sure I get enough video footage. Stuff really is starting to make my 90 minutes a little bit. 90 minutes for me.
Yeah. I don't really do, obviously for client stuff. I'm doing practically no video work, which,
Yeah.
again, I think being here in Vegas now, it's going to give me the opportunity to do some things that I wanted to do in LA, but just didn't really have the luxury to be able to do that. So that's
Yeah.
probably one of the most exciting things about being in Vegas is, it's like it opens up and I can expand, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how much time, services, all that kind of stuff. So definitely looking forward to that. For collabs, I really don't have no time frame with collabs. I just kind of,
Mhm.
I try to keep it to an hour, but
Yeah.
if we shooting and then the flow everything is going good, I
That's
typically don't really care. If I got the time,
that's
I'll shoot for however long. Really.
oh yeah, that's true, talk. I will agree with you on that too. Like we have time, but I always try to be respectful of because when they always ask me how long you think it's going to take, I automatically give them like a 90. I said, you know what I'm saying that's like my give when I ask them cloud, I tell them automatically 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's cool, but I always try to be respectful of their time as well as mine because much. But there's been times where hell, let's see, and like one of my last collabs that I did with Jessica last year, like we literally had to go drive to, you know what I'm saying, that was an hour and a half away from us. And then when we got there, we shot for like almost about 92 hours, about 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then, drove back. So that was almost like a whole, worth shooting. That was just a collab, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mid.
so I'm with you. No time on
Why,
time.
why you say that, mid? Why I must have the AC running? What you hearing? I don't have the AC running, so that's why I'm curious.
What's it here?
You asking that? Why you saying that?
Yes, it may be me. I don't know. I don't think it should be me because I got
2 hours of total time
I'm using the
advertised.
live. I'm using the live mic right now. I do have the Ninja 300 back here. The fan. I don't think it should be picking up with the live mic on right now. It shouldn't be picking it up.
Let's see. I'm gonna mute myself. We'll see what. Yeah, I think whatever he hearing coming from you.
It's gonna come from me.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna lie to y'all guys. I got a lot of stuff going on right now. But the fan is not really that loud. I can barely hear it from where I'm sitting at. Like it's right here. I do have a ceiling fan going on, but that's not even noise. I also got Hitch playing in the background. Maybe you're hearing a Hitch. I got Hitch playing
nice.
in the background.
It sounds like it's just your mic when you're not talking. It
Okay.
tries to auto compensate. Like it kind of brings
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gain a little bit because it's
That's
not.
that's one of the things. That's one of the things I did not talk about in when I made the review because I really didn't know at the time. I was doing a bunch of outside stuff when I with the review because I didn't think about using it when I was sitting down. But I think that's one of the reasons I still like my task cam a whole lot better because you get that setting where
Yeah,
you can only pick up the smaller things instead of because I've noticed that like on a few of my sit down videos that I've been and I'm talking, I'm like, and then it just wants to pick up on everything else as soon as I stop
yeah,
talking.
yeah,
But with the task cam, that thing is just stuck within that little area, especially when you put that setting on there. I wish they'd be able to put a setting on the Go Docs with a firmware up, let you just kind of focus on the range of whatever range it is.
yeah. Dean, so what's your policy for when people are late? 'Cause my policy is pretty strict. Because again, being on LA time,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I have multiple shoots in a day, if you were late, like so,
Mm-hmm.
my policy is 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes. If you're not there within 15 minutes, shoot's over, and I keep your session free. And I haven't had to enforce that because I drill that home so much for every client. I'm just like because of and people understood, right? Because I mean they in LA, so they understand the way that it is. But I would be like, yo,
I'm
I
gonna
got
get it
your
bigger.
session, and then I've got stuff to do after your session. So if you're late, especially because my portrait session is only 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So if you 15 minutes, I can't be like, all right, well then we'll just, you get the rest of your time. It's like, nah, like there's only 15 minutes left. Like that's just not enough time to do anything. So typically, what I tell clients, I'm like, if you're going to be late, if you're going to be more than 15 minutes late, just call me and reschedule. Because if you call me and reschedule, I'll reschedule. There's no refund. Like once you pay your session fee, there's no refund. I mean, unless it was like an extenuating circumstance. But I would just tell them just call me and reschedule. Because if you don't show up within 15 minutes and you don't call me, that's like a no call no show. Like there's no reschedule. You don't get your money back. Like that's a wrap. Now, again, thankfully, I never had to enforce that because I just tell people like just call me. Like if you're not gonna make it, call me. Like that's the right thing to do anyway. Like don't just not
Yes,
show
sir.
up for 15 minutes and not even call me, text me, nothing. So I'm like, just call me and we'll just reschedule it. It's not a problem. So yeah, I mean, I never really had to worry about overcompensating on the shoot time for people being late because uh, people knew. But it might be different here in Vegas. People might be on a whole different mindset here. So we'll see how it goes here.
Yeah, I was going to say Ike actually made a good point. The reason why he used that smaller form factor, I was just looking at his comment. But yeah, I guess that's a good idea too, where you can use that small one Ike using a smaller file size. Once again, just having the option in there is what's nice.
Yeah.
But he made up a good point. He said he was run out of space, so he put it in the medium raw to save space. So
Hey,
yeah,
that's definitely maybe that was kind of the use case that
yeah,
had that even on the table to put it in there for something like that. Where you
yeah,
like that's one of the worst feelings though, man. Like when you look at how many pictures you got left and you still got some time left to shoot and you don't got no more cars because stuff happens. Like
yeah. Stuff
oh,
happens.
you should have had another car. You should have been more prepared. Stuff happens, man. Like sometimes either you just you forgot a card. You thought you cleared off a card, but there were still pictures on it, or you took that many pictures and you was like, oh, I didn't think I was gonna burn through 3 cars that fast.
That's
Stuff
true.
happens, man. So it's like,
That
yeah,
does
it's,
happen.
it's definitely nice to have that option because it's the worst when I back like in my earlier days. I was on a shoot. This is before, man. This is before I was smart. I was on a shoot and I only had the one card in the camera because I think it was man, I don't know. I think I could get like 400 pictures on it, 500 pictures. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think I was going to shoot anywhere close to that. So I had just that one card and I was like, I'm good. And we doing the shoot. We about halfway through the shoot, and I try to take a picture and it says card full, and I'm like, oh, like what? How did I take that many pictures, man? So I'm sitting there, had to stop the shoot, had to basically go through and call the shoot right there so I could get rid of some pictures that I didn't need just to open up more space on the card just so I could keep it going. That was the
Yeah,
only time that ever happened. And ever since then, I normally take like 4 or 5 cars to a shoot just in case. So that way that never happens again.
I definitely have done that myself. Like you said, stuff happens. I've deleted multiple. Definitely when I have to, because usually, like you said, once I get home, I try to back up everything and put everything on different hard drives as well. A few times where I just don't remember when I'm out in the shoot, especially when I was doing video, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Wayne, the card is filled up in the cards, and I'm just like, all right, did I really back this up? So sometimes like I have to like stop, like do not do my video. If not, I backed it up like I supposed to because some stuff just happens. So I was like, man, I'm back up everything on my Google Drive, especially with video. So usually, I'll just pull out my phone and look on my drive to make sure the video files up, and I'll delete those files. But I'm with you on that one. Stuff just kind of happens sometimes. And I guess Ike and T Mid, I guess you said this is the Godox mic. It says the Godox mic, man, and it's just picking up the fan from the LED as soon as I quit talking.
I can tell you right now, you're not selling that mic very well because that joint been out the whole time, bro.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that it's cutting out, man.
So I definitely know I'm not buying that Godox mic. I can tell you that straight up.
I don't. What's going on? I don't know if I'm just too close or if I just got too much interference because it works well out on location. It works well, but as far as it's like this sit down situation, I don't think it's working too well. You know what I'm saying? Like I only use this thing a few times on the sit down situation, but I'm gonna go get some. I'm gonna get some regular get those T mid mics going on and shit.
Yeah.
My fault for cussing on here, but I'm gonna get those T mid mics. I'm gonna get some hardwire stuff.
Don't be cussing. Don't be trying to get this.
My bad. My bad, man. My bad.
Now I'm gonna have to select the option that there's some cuss words here and there.
Man, I just said the S word. That's kind
Yeah,
of, yeah. I'm gonna get my AP studio set up and stuff of that nature, man. When I do stuff like this and make, because our plans is to make more sit down videos like this. So, you know, I don't know. They work pretty well out of location. So I don't know. I think the problem is just everything that's just kind of running right now through the thing. I think that's issues really coming through. I don't think they're very good with this. All the stuff I got set up as of right now.
yeah. T-Mate, I appreciate you, brother. Uh, yeah. So I tell people 20 minutes. I believe kindness leads to loyalty, so I decided to charge average pay since most people don't spend 3 to 5 times a year. They charge pay. So I get that, bro. I definitely get that. I think there's a little bit of a balance though, right? Because sometimes even well intentioned people and good clients will take advantage of you. Sometimes, like
That's
if
true.
somebody know that they can be up to an hour late, then they don't feel bad about doing it. So I'm always like listening to stuff to just be like a better business person. And there was a guy that I was listening to one time, and he kind of has like these short 1-2 minute clips. And one that he had that really resonated with me was, and I don't remember like what the saying was, but basically what he got to was, if a client asks you to do something, oftentimes, like if it's not a big deal or whatever, like if the client is like, hey, do you have those pictures? I lost my pictures. Can you get it for me? A lot of times people are like, yeah, no problem, no worries, I got it. And basically what he was saying was, you don't want your client to ask you for something and then not realize that you did something for them and they take a moment to reflect on that and appreciate it. So basically, what he was saying was, in that same scenario, if a client is like, "Hey, I lost all my photos. Can you get them?" He's like, your response really should be, "You know what? I'm honestly not sure if I still have them. Let me go back and check to see if I have them, and I'll let you know." Because then at that point, even if you know you have them, when you come back to them and you say, "Hey, I went and did some work and I found them. It took me a little bit of time, but I found them. Here you go." Now you're going to get, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate you taking the time to do that." Like, they take that moment to realize that you actually put in some effort and some work to help them out. Versus if they just ask for it and you're just like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I can get those for you." You might get a cool thanks, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because people kind of relate how much work you have to do something with how much they should be appreciative of it, which that's not how it
Mm-hmm.
should be. Like, we should always be appreciative. But if I ask you for something and it doesn't seem like it's any big deal at all, it's just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. But it's like, if I know you had to put in some work, you appreciate it a lot more. So he basically was just saying, like, as business people, even if we know the answer is yes, we shouldn't just be so quick to be like, yeah, no problem. I can do it. So just circling back to that, like, I get exactly what he's saying. Like, you definitely want to be kind to people because they will remember that, and that does lead to loyalty. But at the same time, you don't want to give your clients a reason to basically take advantage of you. Like, at the end of the day, no client should be late. Like, that's how it should be. Now we know that's not the reality, and we know clients will be late, but no client should be late. So it's like, if you give them an ability to basically consistently be late, they're going to use that, and they're not going to feel bad about it, because it's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's no problem at all. Like, I'm never on time," and he's very nice and kind and understanding. That can come back to bite you. So that's
Oh
all.
yeah, that's true. Now I agree. I agree exactly what you said. I know I don't be dealing with lateness, even with my collabs. Somebody late 10 minutes, man, I'm gone. I'm out of here, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. No, I
I'm,
mean,
I'm,
I'm
I'm just,
I'm pretty cutthroat because time is king, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
and for me, and maybe sometimes I take it. It's like I'm always honest with myself, and there's things that I can work on. Sometimes I take it personal. I like, you
hmm,
disrespected me by not being on time. Like, basically what you're
yeah,
saying is, whatever you have going on, that's more important than my time and you showing up on time for what we agreed on. Like, it's not like I just
yeah,
called you up and I'm like, "Yo, can you get here in 20 minutes?" And they're like, man, I don't know. I'll try. And if we know, like, hey, be here at 4:30, and it's
Yeah.
4:30, and you're not here, to me, that's just disrespectful. Especially when it's like, okay, if I'm meeting you at 4:30, I know that it's going to take me a half hour to get there. If by 4 o'clock I'm not in my vehicle coming to where I'm supposed to be, I'm sending you a text. SJ,
Yeah.
like, bro, like I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. I'm gonna be 15 minutes late.
Exactly.
Maybe it only takes you 20 minutes to get there. So if I text you at 4 o'clock, now you won't be sitting there at 4:30 having to wait an extra 20 minutes. You could have been like, oh, okay, cool. I won't leave until 4:15 now. So we'll get there
Exactly.
around the same time, no problem. So I don't know. I just that just really gets under my skin when people are just not on time and they don't even give you the courtesy to let you know, because people, you're gonna be late, like like
Yeah.
you're
Just
gonna be late.
yeah. Just tell me. I'm with you on that one. As long as you tell me something. But then when I'll be thinking, be 10 minutes. I guess my whole thing of it was like, if you tell me you're gonna be late, that's fine. If you tell me how long you're gonna be late, that's fine too. And if you tell me you're gonna be 10 minutes late, but here it is, extra 15 minutes, I'm like, nah, this is over with. You know what I'm saying? That's, I guess, because at this point you was lying the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you did tell me you was going to be late, you was still lying because you say you're going to be here it is extra 15 minutes. Nah, I gotta go. Like, I'm
This
just
is why sometimes I do give a little bit of a pass, because as much as I just said that, there be times where I'm supposed to be somewhere at a certain time, and I'm texting somebody like, yeah, I'm about to head out the door right now. I got like 5, 7 minutes before I'm about to head out that door, right? And I know I'm
yeah.
not gonna be on time. Like, I know there ain't no way. So like, I need to do this right now for me to get there on time, and I know I gotta give 5 minutes before I'm heading out of here. So I'm a little bit, sometimes I'm a little bit more on the lenient side, just because I know I have my moments where,
Nah,
yeah, just
nah,
sometimes like I just misestimate time sometimes.
I think we all kind of whole thing right there if you're driving. But my whole thing is like, I guess definitely when it comes to like, yo, man, I got to put all this stuff up. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like I said, this is a big time. I really do be like, yo, I just got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you said 10 minutes late, but now it's like, no, I got to go. Like, we can reschedule this,
Yeah.
you know?
So this is I'm curious, for the people watching, how do y'all do deposits? Do y'all do they pay everything up front before the shoot? Do they pay nothing? Do they pay when the shoot starts after the shoot? Like, how do you guys do, for people who have clients? How
Hell,
do
I
you
do,
do the payment stuff? So how, SJ, how do you
yeah,
do your payment stuff? Like, if you have a
20,
client?
25 non-refundable,
Yeah,
25%
so
deposit. Not,
that has to be paid before you block off that date.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I do. I split. Session fee and images. So for me, basically, I don't have a deposit per se, but since I have the session fee has to be paid in full upfront before that date is even marked off on my calendar to say,
Okay.
and then that session fee, depending upon, so if they cancel, so 50% of it is always non-refundable all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So, before someone books, like, I have a whole refund policy that they have to sign off on, because at the minute that they book, 50% of that is gone, no matter what. Like, unless it's an extenuating circumstance, 50% of that is, like, even if they booked it right now and 20 minutes later, they're like, I changed my mind, 50% of it is gone. Like, no
Yeah.
exception. Because at the point that that booking happens, I'm already starting to plan that shoot. I'm looking at the information they gave me. I'm trying to figure out where we're going to shoot. Like, all of these things, like, I'm putting time into it already. So it's like, even if you cancel, I got to be compensated for that time. Like, nothing is free.
Yeah.
So they have to pay the session fee upfront before anything ever happens. And then for the images, I don't start editing them until they pay for it. So
Okay.
for me, I never have that. I'm never in a situation where, like, I'm waiting for a client to pay me money, or I've delivered
Okay.
something and they haven't paid me, because nothing happens until they pay me. Period.
Yeah.
There are no exceptions to that. Like, when it comes to business, I'm pretty cutthroat sometimes, and that's that's a positive and a negative. Like it would be better to have a balance, but that's just me, and that's how I've always done my
Yeah.
business. Keep it consistent. So it's like if it's not paid, it doesn't happen. So it's like, and I tell them, if you don't pay for your session fee, like when you book, that date is not like, I'm not holding that date for you. So
Yeah.
if an hour later somebody comes and they're like, yo, you know what I'm saying, can you shoot on this day at this time? I might give you a courtesy to call you and say, hey, I got another client that wants that time slot. Can you get your session fee paid right now? And if not, I'm going to go with that other client, because that client, if they're going to pay me now, that's guaranteed money. Like I can't
Yeah.
deny that money out of hopes that you're actually going to pay and book with me.
Yeah.
You would never pay and book, so I'm not going to give you that courtesy. So I know some people will look at that and just say like it's a little cold, but business is tough because there's always a balance of being nice and running a business. And it's like you
Hmm.
can't run a business being nice 100% of the time. Like your business will fail. So there has to be aspects where you treat it like a business, and it's like if this is the policy, if this is the rule, then
Yeah.
that's just what it is. It's like no one goes to McDonald's and orders something and then say, "Let me eat all the food and then I'll pay you once I'm done with the food."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no, it's like a place like McDonald's. The policy is you order what you want, you pay for it, and then we give you the food. Whereas
Yeah.
like your sit down joints, that's a little different. But that's because, in a sit down joint, they're essentially trying to upsell you. They don't want to have you order and then you pay, because most likely you're not going to order dessert. You're not going to order more stuff because you don't
Yeah.
want to be passive with it. So it's a business thing that they do to try to sell more
Exactly.
stuff. So it's like, to me, it's like having a photography business. Every photographer has their rules. It's like if you don't like the way that I do things, that's 100% fine. I respect
Hmm.
that. Go find another photographer. I am 100% okay losing clients because they don't want to adhere to my policies. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
go find a photographer that allows you to do whatever works for you. That's totally fine. So
I mean, that makes perfect sense. The model works actually perfect sense to me. I don't have any really back and forth or even no opinion on it. I think it works fine. Yeah, I wouldn't any clients, but if I was full time, I would probably run something like that as well. Because I need guarantee. You need to guarantee everything with me. If I was full time.
oh man, hold on. I'm reading this brief story that's wild. So she had a client yesterday that was 2 hours late for a 4.5 hour shoot. Client responded to my "I'm on my way" text with "I'm still asleep, love. Can we push it back?" I was already at their location. Man, okay, so let's see. Did she? I need more of what happened. Bree, so what? So after they sent that text, said "I'm still asleep." Can we push it back? What was your response to that? I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you still did the shoot, so you waited. But like, what was your response, and how did you handle that once they got on location? Like, did you politely put them in their place, or what did you do? Because that's wild. That's wild. If I texted a client and they were like, "I'm still asleep,"
Yeah, I
man,
wouldn't.
I don't know. And I get it. It's tough because anytime you have a business and let's say like I have a policy of, if you don't show up in 15 minutes, shoot is off and you don't get your money back. I understand as a business that it's like that client is obviously, they would be pissed, right? And if I didn't give them their money back, they're going to be pissed and they're going to badmouth me as a photographer and as a business, regardless of, they could have signed 5 things that they agreed that if they weren't there within 15 minutes, they were going to lose their money. That's all irrelevant. Like if they don't make it to the shoot on time and I tell them I am keeping your money and you're not going to do the shoot, like they're going to be pissed and they're going to badmouth me. So that's where it's a bit challenging as a business because I think for a long time it was ingrained in people's mind as like the customer is always right, and that kind of works for big companies because they have the money to be able to allow that to work. A Walmart, they'll let anybody return anything because it doesn't matter. They make so much money and they can write that off, so it's irrelevant. Small businesses can't work that way. Like small businesses, it can't be, the customer is always right. So whatever the customer wants is what the customer gets. It doesn't work that way for small businesses. because we don't have the financial means to be able to just do whatever, nor do we have the time. You know, a lot of photographers, it's
True.
like it's just them. They don't have a team. They don't have, you know, somebody that's back at an office is doing their scheduling. They don't have, you know, a designated person that does their backups and a designated person that does their editing. Like most photographers don't have a team. It's just them. So we don't have the luxury to just be like, oh, no problem. Just whenever you can get here, get here. You know, what if you had another shoot, you know, right after that? You know, it's like how do you manage that? You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like now you got to reschedule, but you've already wasted that time. So now that's going to be time that you don't get paid for because you're probably not going to be like, cool, you already paid for your 4.5 session, but since I got to reschedule it, you're going to have to pay me more money. Again, you run into the same situation. That person is going to be pissed off. They're going to badmouth you. So it's like sometimes you can't win and you just have to stick with business. And you just have to say, like,
True.
it's like the only way I can make you happy is by doing everything that doesn't benefit me whatsoever. So sometimes you just have to just accept it. It's like you're just gonna have people
It's true.
just can't make them happy. 50%. So let's see, 50% retainer at booking and the rest the day before. 50% retainer non-refundable. 50% down. Rest due day of shoot. Free reschedule up to 24 hours before.
Yeah, I know, Bree. You're a
Um,
good.
so for all of you guys that are the 50%, do you guys ever have a problem with people paying the day before? Like, do most of your clients do they make sure that they're on top of having to pay the day before? Or are you kind of having to chase them down and be like, "Yo, your shoots tomorrow. You haven't paid the rest. You need to pay it." Like, what's your typical experience with that? See, that's where it's like I kind of I like the way that I do it. Now, of course, I think the 50% is going to be more beneficial for a lot of clients because that's less money that they have to pay like right in that moment. But for me, I like the idea of having it all up front, and then I don't have to worry about collecting a payment here, collecting a payment there, or even if it's they do it on my website. I don't want to have to keep track of I got this shoot tomorrow. Is it paid up? And if it's not paid up, I got to reach out to them and say, hey, are you going to pay? Or it's like I like having it all done. If it's on my schedule, I know that it's paid for. That money is in the bank, and all is good.
Yeah, that's a wild story.
Okay, so she said, unfortunately, I'm in the parking garage and only have from 8 to 12:30 block for you today due to the rest of my schedule. Hopefully, you can be up and ready within that time frame. She said, consider the tip because there's no way we can make it. Okay.
Oh man.
And I told her I didn't feel comfortable leaving without getting something, so she said she would be ready by 10. Man, like, what was she doing? Like, I don't think
That's
we're
that's a
gonna be able
wild.
to make it. Like, yo,
That's a.
yeah, they must have had a wild
I
night.
think I think the disrespect is unreal right there. That's just. I guess it goes back to what you were just saying there, Tug Life. She really just thinks her time is nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, see, that's the okay. So in her response, and maybe there was more. Bree, if there was more, let me know so that way I'm not bashing her. But in saying I'm still asleep, love, can we push it back? To me, I would have taken that very personal. I'm like, the first thing you should have been saying was, I apologize so much. Like, I overslept. I am so
Yeah.
sorry that I'm not there. Like, I know your time is important. I apologize that I'm not there on time. In my opinion, that should have been the first thing that was said right off the rip. I should have been there. You're there. I'm not there. You blocked off this time for me. Like, I apologize for not being there. Like, that's immediately first thing that should have been said. And like that'll dictate for me like how I would handle a situation like that. Like if I had a client that was like, I am so sorry that I missed it. This is what happened. I apologize that I had you there. Wasting your time. I'm
Oh yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'm going to work with that client because it's like I appreciate that you acknowledge that you messed up and you're apologizing for it. Like I appreciate that. In that situation, that's just like you're not even acknowledging. You're just like, oh, I'm still asleep. Can we push it back?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not even acknowledging that it's like, yo, like I'm here. Like now I'm wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That just went sicko me.
No, that's I don't know. That's just totally disrespectful, man. I just think that's just beyond the story what she's giving. I'm just like, yo, that's beyond disrespectful, bro.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, every situation I say, every situation is a case by case. Like I know sometimes when I'm on my channel, I kind of talk about just kind of like the structure of my business. But of course, it's like, I'm not, cold and heartless to everything. If somebody didn't show up for a shoot and I found out the next day it's because somebody passed away or somebody was in the hospital, I ain't
Yeah,
gonna be like, well, tough luck. I don't know, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
But obviously, in a case like that,
and
I'm
and
gonna be understanding,
and
I'm
Bree's
gonna
story
be compliant.
and Bree's story just like she went out and stayed up way too late last night because
Yeah,
it was Saturday night, right? So that sounds like to me, which is another sign of disrespect. Like this, and Bree that she automatically a reminder sent to her. So yeah, that's just disrespectful, bro. I just wanted I would have been pissed.
yeah. I mean, that's definitely the way. Okay, so she said apology came at 10:10. We met up. They're wealthier. They're used to buying their way through things. Yeah, you definitely have those. I mean, I definitely had clients here in LA. You know, um, it's that type of person is very prevalent in LA. Of course, it's like people tend to think that you can be bought, which also I find to be very disrespectful, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't throw money at me to basically say, oh yeah, I know I disrespected you, but take this extra money and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I look at that like, nah, you can't buy disrespect. Like you don't get to
Nah,
pay me off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's principle.
nah,
Um,
you can pay me up, but you're still gonna hear it. That's my whole situation. I'm gonna take the extra money, but you still that's just like the disrespect is crazy though.
yeah, but honestly, I love hearing stories like this because a lot of the policies and the things that I have in place in my business is things that I have not had to deal with personally, but people that I know have experienced them. Or, sometimes I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm just thinking about stuff and I'm just like, because like at my old job, we had to CYA everything, everything. Like that was the name of the game. You had to CYA everything. So that's just ingrained in me. Like I'm always, I'm covering everything. So I'm just like, okay, let me think. Like, what if this situation happens? Do I have something to cover that? Do I have something in my contract? Do I have, this, that, and the other? It's like unfortunately, you have to have so much of that, and then it's like you got to communicate things to the client over and over because your contracts they'll sign them, but won't even have read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's pretty normal. And then you're just like, well, it was in the contract, and they're just like, oh, well, I didn't see it. And the crazy thing about that, and I don't know how it is here in Vegas. It could be a little bit different, but the thing about it is that I wouldn't even say it's just LA. I think it's just kind of in general. And it's sad that this is
Yeah,
where we are just as a country. But you could have something in your contract and someone could have signed it and it could still mean nothing because that could go to court.
yeah,
And this has happened too. This has happened. That could go to court and the judge would say, well, did you make it easy for them to see that? Would a normal person have seen that? Like if you got a contract that's 10 pages long. And the most
hmm
important thing is two sentences in the middle of your contract. You could be like, what was in there? And they signed it. And the judge is going to say, but what normal person for a photo shoot would have read a contract that was 10 pages long? And it's like, if that was so important, why wasn't that emphasized? Why wasn't it bolded? Why wasn't, attention brought to it? So
yeah,
that's when you have a contract where you force them to literally put an initial on that specific section. So that way you could say, as they were signing the contract, they had to initial it. You have to do things like that because even when you have a contract, it still can mean nothing. It
yeah.
could be nothing. Or sometimes you have stuff in a contract that's not legally sound. And it's like just because it's in a contract and someone signs it, if it's not legally sound, it still can be thrown out. So,
Yeah,
contracts are, I always say contracts are a deterrent, and that's about it. Because at the end of the day, if there's something in a contract and the client doesn't do what they're supposed to do, number one, the only option that I have is to sue them.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not going to do what they need to do, and I've tried to work through it and they don't want to, the only option that I have is to sue them. And obviously, we know like that's not going to be beneficial to you as a business
Yeah.
to be the photographer that's suing your clients. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the contracts are pointless, really. I mean, they deter, they help you communicate what you need to communicate to your client, but I mean, outside of that,
Yeah, I know. I know we had a talk on that a long time ago about that same. We did a live together about contracts are pretty a deterrent, like you as you say, they're pretty much mean nothing. So, but I'm gonna have it signed though.
I said, I'm gonna keep it real. Depends on the check how much they could disrespect. You know what? Look, I think most of us would be lying if we didn't say like if somebody was 2 hours late and it was like, yo, man, let me just I'm about to sell you, 2 grand for the agent forgiveness. I'll be like, like don't
I
don't
told
let it
you.
happen again. Wink, wink.
I told you I'm gonna take the money, but I'm gonna let them know. I'm gonna let them know about the disrespect. I'm gonna take that money though, but I'm still know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've fortunately never been in that situation where I really had to deal with it. Just because I drive the point home so many times to the point where they probably get annoyed by how
Yeah.
much I drive the point home. But I do it just because I don't want to have to deal with the nonsense. And I hear so many stories, like especially when I was on Facebook and I was in the Black Photographers group. Man, that group there was definitely some stories in that group. So let me circle back to all these comments because y'all know I'm terrible at keeping up with these comments. Bree, out of curiosity, just going back to that real quick, what kind of shoot was that? That was 4.5. Was it an event? I'm assuming it was an event. Yeah, Albert, man. I rarely talk about gear. I don't really care too much about gear. I don't even use half the gear that I have myself. Um,
Sorry about that.
yep, all good.
Hey, man, don't be talking about my editing in my contract, man.
But he really ain't gonna do that with the
Yeah, I know, right? You see
fire
that?
too.
Oh man, I don't think nobody's really going to do nothing unless it's like really, really. What was that? What was that story about a couple of years that photographer ended up going to court and like suing for like what was it? Big thing in the rumors and stuff, in the rumor sites and stuff. I know it was a few years ago though. Anyway, I don't think anybody's really going to do nothing unless it's like for like a legit amount of money. I don't think no.
Yeah, it's just
Going
it's
to take
not
nobody to
it's
court.
honestly, man, it could end up being more detrimental to your business than it helps. I mean, that's just the reality. It's like, and that's where it's tough because when you have if you have a contract and somebody doesn't do something that the contract says that they're supposed to do, and then they do it anyway, and you don't enforce it, then it kind of makes your contract look like a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it was in the contract, but I did it anyway, and he didn't do that. She
yeah,
didn't do anything. So you have that angle of it, but then you have the side of, if you try to correct it, just as like, hey, I'm hitting you up, like, yo, don't do that, and they kind of just blow you off. It's like, so what's your other option to sue them? And then it's like, well, which one is going to cost you more business? Some you suing a client and then that blowing
mhm.
up, or you just saying, screw it, just they edited my pictures, the edit is terrible. Let me untag myself, and I guess that call it.
Yeah. I guess you. I think
Man, we
that's adding the nothing even that.
I'm about to say we like Russian right there.
Yeah, Mid is just going off right now, man.
Yeah,
Mid is being disrespectful.
really instigate. But see, the thing is, it's like I don't look at it like that. I look at it as like most people, if they sign a contract, they typically will do what the contract stipulates because for the most part, people put weight on contracts and they say, well, if I sign this, then that means enforceable enough. I don't want to get sued or whatever. So most people will adhere to it, and so that's why you put it in there. But you're gonna have the ones that maybe are just internet savvy and they know that you have to say, for those, you have to just suck it up, I guess. So
Man, you too much now, man.
speak
Man, we already addressed that. It doesn't work. I set up. Understand? Next time I do something where it's live and I'm running through some internet connection, I will have a mic. Okay.
I know what SJ's goal for content creation in the future is stop using that Kodak mic. we having to read lips just to piece together what you saying, man.
Yes, I apologize, guys. I did not haven't used this set actually. Now thinking about it, not even for because I never done a it's really bad, but when everything is all hard, we're finding the video. So
yeah,
learn, bro.
So
Lesson learned.
we gonna answer this question. And I'm gonna sign off because I got some stuff to do, and I know it's getting late for you. So, what are your goals for content creation in the future? We're gonna try to see if we can hear you and put it all together.
All right, let me do this. Let me get something through. Let me unplug and see if it's better. Let me see. Does that sound any better?
I mean, if it doesn't cut out, it'll be better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was going to do it that way. I unplugged, so as long as you can hear me now. So the question was, since I'm a content creator, what I'm going to do for
what's your goals for the future?
It's always just to create content, get better, just with the work and just do different things. Like I said, I do have the series coming across if it ever freaking gets done, or even do. Godly, it's just really ticking me off now thinking about it. But yeah, my thing is just to keep on creating content, man, and just keep pushing forward, man. Like I said, I enjoy doing that. I think more than anything, I've told you in our private chat with Mid and you. That I enjoy doing video portraits actually, so I think more I'm going to start doing a little bit more of that on the channel because I do enjoy video portraits. So I think I'm going to start shooting those out a little bit more, and then I think that's pretty much about it. Just create more content and just keep it going. Really, just post the stuff I enjoy posting about.
Yeah, have you ever thought to do like a BTS of your video portrait, or kind of like a breakdown your thought process? How do you?
It's a couple of things, but the thing is, I want to get a little bit better at it. I don't think I'm too good because I'm still learning off YouTube University. You know what I'm saying? I still got a couple of video guys that I'm really starting to watch a little bit more and just kind of learn different angles and how to shoot things and what to use. Things of that nature. So I'm actually I actually really like watching. I think his name is Mabo. If anybody ever knows what I'm talking about, Mabo, that's all he does is shoot video portraits. And,
really? How do you spell the name?
I think it's Mabo. If I'm not mistaken, he shoots nothing but video portraits. That's what his channel is all about. So, if I'm not, I think it's Mabo.
Okay. Mabo. Yeah, I have to look him up.
Let me see if that's the right guy. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, no, I looked him up. That's him.
Yeah, that's him. So yes, he shoots nothing but video portraits. So I've been kind of learning from him, and he does little videos where he's breaking it down. There's a couple other guys I just been finding here recently, a little bit smaller channels just showing how to do video. So I do enjoy doing video portraits. So I've been trying to find more channels of that, trying to learn how to do that more. So eventually I'll probably start breaking down through my thought process. But other than that, I'm just want to learn how to do that a little bit better. And just kind of put those out because I do enjoy it though. I actually enjoy doing it. Yeah. So it's just longer for me to edit. I don't know if I can be. I don't know if he has the same exact problem. I know Mid said he doesn't have the problem, but it's a whole lot harder for me to edit video portraits because, like I said in our group chat, you have all this footage, and you're going to condense it within a minute 30, between 2 minutes to 30. But yet you have, over 30 minutes of footage. You know what I'm saying? So it's really difficult trying to find those certain scenes to put out, and how if you're gonna slow it up, then you're gonna put it to the beat. Like, it's a whole lot more difficult
So
editing a video portrait than just doing like a regular BTS video that I'm doing now. Like, I can do those in
when you
5
do
minutes.
that though, like when you do your portrait video, and I don't want to get into a whole conversation because I got to end
Mhm.
this live. But when you do your portrait video, do you have an idea of the end product, or are you just recording footage and
At,
making sure that you have a lot of footage, and then you don't
at,
even think about what it's going to be until you start editing it?
as of right now, it's more the second thing, and I'm starting to gradually move into having a plan. You know what I'm saying? Of what shots I need to get to order to make the vision I want to do. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? So I think that's what's pushed me more forward towards that, because I want to learn how to make those scenes in my head, or whatever the case I want to do. Just the same way as if you're making a portrait shoot. I mean, you're putting together a portrait session. You know what I'm saying? I know for me anyway, especially if I'm doing something that's going to be really intense like this daggone thing I'm doing right now. I have everything already planned out, the shots I want, all that good jazz. I just haven't really, now I got to move that on the video side of things. Just trying to make out my scene and try to visualize it, and then so I can put it together. But as the answer your question, it's the second part of it. I'm just taking a whole bunch of footage as of right now and just putting it in a video. But so, like I said, I'm gradually getting to the point where I'm starting to know what I want. You know what I'm saying? Of what shots I need, so I can get to make the video portrait right.
yeah. So I always fail to get video, and I get upset with myself because every time I do like a collab where I can do video, I'm
Mm-hmm.
always like, okay, I need to do it first. But I'm sometimes like in my head, I'm like, trying to do it first doesn't really work because like there's still code. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of tough to like just show up and be like, okay, let's get this video footage and it, be something that's magical. It's like it doesn't work to do it like right in the beginning. So then I'm like, okay, well let's get some shots under our belt, loosen up, get comfortable, and then I'm gonna get this video footage, and then it doesn't happen, and then it's like the end of the shoot happens, and I either don't think about it, or even if I think about it, I'm like, man, we've been shooting for an hour and a half. Like she got to go, or I got to go, or like I don't even feel like doing it now. And then I end up with no video footage at all. So I got to try to get that into my workflow where I'm more
Yeah,
consistent with it, to where it's like, I do some photo stuff, then, or, maybe it needs to be like, if I'm at this location or this outfit, as soon as I have all the pictures that I need, immediately get some video. Like, let's get some video of this outfit, this location. Then, because, really when you think about it, like, it only takes a couple minutes to get videos. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, it's not like it's a time consuming thing. It's like, it doesn't
yeah.
take much time.
Yeah, it's not like you said. It's not really a time-consuming thing. It does take the video, but I think it's just like when you start getting into editor and you got like 10 minutes worth, but then you sit here trying to do it, put it in a 2 minute, 30 minute, format. Because you got
Yeah.
to think about slow. You got to think about slow mo, the whole nine. All that stuff's gonna stretch and everything. Yeah, so it's just really, then you really have to start focusing on like the details of what you want in it. It's, for me, it's a whole lot harder. But like you said, like I had that problem too in the beginning. Like, especially when you're one man person, just like, yo, you got all this stuff you're trying to record BTS for the video. Then you're like, oh, well, now I want to do like a little small video portrait. So hell, I even forgot about it. Like, I'll even when I started doing more video things and like, let me get this little whatever the case may be, it's like I always forgot myself. So, but now I'm more consistent on it because I've been doing it for a while. So I know for a fact, like, yo, I got to get video. Like yesterday, like what I try to do first is as soon as they come out, like before I even do any type of photos or set my photos, it's like, yo, I got to get video for reals first. Like, that's the very first thing I do. Like, at least I know that I have, video for real. You know what I'm saying? Before anything else. So if she does leave, or if I forget, when she changes outfits, it's like, all right, well, I already got 5 minutes of in the beginning of real. So at least I have that to do in
Yeah.
video. But as
Yeah.
far as when it comes to video portraits, if I know for a fact that I'm going to make a video portrait, then I make sure that I'm getting those angles. But once again, like I said, that's why I'm really gravitating towards those other people that's on YouTube that just do strictly video portraits, and just learning from them and trying to get more of an idea of direction. So when I'm out there, I can get the shots that I need in the direction I'm going to go for. Because at the end of the day, even if I'm out there doing it, like, it still don't even come together to me until I find the music that goes with it. That never comes until when I'm sitting down editing, right? So, because I'm a big music guy and I like music, so, and of course, music just makes the video feels better. So even if I'm out there and I know exactly what the
the sequence is going to be, I still won't still know how exactly how I'm going to edit until I find the music, and
And
I
see,
never find the music until at the end when I'm sitting down editing.
that's interesting. Well, now, first of all, every time I keep looking at your hood, it looked like you got like just a gray hair perm going on. Like I just keep seeing it. I just keep seeing, like you got it, like you just got a perm, got this long hair. But what's interesting about that is, see, I'm not, now, obviously I do terrible at recording video, but when I do, like for me to figure out or get a concept for a photo shoot, I typically have songs in mind first. That's actually what helps me with the
Okay.
concept. I'm the same way. Like I love music, and it's easier for me to have a song, and then I can listen to the words of that song, and then I can develop a concept off
Okay.
of that song, right? So I already know, like if I'm going into a shoot, I already have like some songs in my head of kind of the theme of what I want the shoot to be.
Yeah.
So I could either make the photos, or if I did video, I already know what the music is going to be. So now it's like, okay, if there's a certain line in the song, I can make sure that I get footage or I take pictures to correspond with that line in the
Yeah.
song. And then that way I could jive it up. So
Yeah.
that's where I think if I actually just make a point to get the video, I'll be pretty good because I already know the music that
Yeah.
I want to
Maybe
attach to. I just need to
maybe I
get
need to do what you did. Maybe I need to start listening to music ahead of time because yesterday, even when I did the real stuff with Cindy yesterday, like when I was driving back home, because I have to go to Louisville. So when I was driving back home, listening, like I was just listening to music, and it just popped in my head, like, oh yeah, I want to use this song to with the footage we just got. But maybe I need to just start doing a reverse, and probably that'll help me when I get out there and get my shots in. I already
Yeah,
know in my
because
head exactly what music.
then you'll basically get the footage that you need for the music, and then
Mm-hmm.
you kind of can already have an idea of how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like again, like if there's a certain line in the song, you got footage that was meant for that line of the song.
Yeah.
So you
Exactly.
already know what's going in there. You basically just got to pick that right moment and put it in there and
Exactly.
roll with it. So
Yeah, I definitely probably need to start thinking about my music ahead of time. But like I said, I use Soundstripe a lot of times, and sometimes just trying to kind of comb through that Soundstripe is a little bit, you know, it's a little bit tedious sometimes for me because, like I said, I do like my music. It's just tedious for me
yeah,
sometimes. I
that's
got to
where
find
it's
the
tough
right
too,
combination.
because like sometimes, and that's what I like. I like that Instagram now is, because they realize that, people will just use the music that's out there and it gets
Yeah,
people engaged, that you can use, copyrighted songs on your Instagram.
yeah.
Problem, because it used to be, I don't know if you remember, but it used to be if you use that, like they would either take the post down,
Oh yeah,
like
oh
this,
yeah.
on all this stuff. So it's nice that like now you can actually use that music, and that's where it's tough because there's a lot of songs that I like that are like mainstream songs that it's like I
Yep,
definitely want to do a reel to this, but then I can't put that on YouTube. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So it's like now I'm making content that I would only be able to use on IG. Then what am I going to do for the YouTube space? Because I use SoundCloud and it's like they got good music, but it's not like some of the songs. Like sometimes it'd be like I
Exactly.
listen to a song from 15 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do a reel to this, but then I
Exactly.
can only use it on Instagram. So that's where it's tough for me. But
Yeah, yeah, you not. I agree with you totally 100%. That's the reason why when I try to do, because sometimes I just don't want to. Like it's pretty tough. So it's like I don't want to just use that certain music because I know I can use it on IG for instance because it got the copyright thing. But it's like okay for YouTube they don't have it. So it's like am I really going to sit there and make two different type of music? That means I have to probably cut a whole nother thing just for YouTube. So that's the
yeah,
reason why I'm like okay I'm just going to stick with Soundstripe. So therefore I know it's good, it's clean. I can use it on all platforms. So yeah, but it does suck sometimes because I have a lot of music in my head. I'll be thinking like, oh, I'd love to use it here, but like, should I just use this music just for this platform, or should I just use the Soundstripe that I paid for and just use it and just do something with that and just use it all with that feed? So it's just like one of
yeah.
those type of things.
Yeah, I definitely want to focus on in the future. I want to focus more on Instagram. I want to get more consistent on Instagram because I am terribly inconsistent.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
do any reels, which I know like that is like the thing. Like you will not have any Instagram growth without reels. Like that
That's
is
true.
crucial. And I definitely want to jump on that because I feel like I could make some dope content, but I'm just when I do photo shoots, I'm so like I just can't get it ingrained in my mind to get that video footage. Like I have muscle memory of just doing photos, so it's hard for
Yep,
me to think like I need to get video. Even if I think about it ahead of time, just as I'm going through the shoot, it just completely slips my mind. So like
definitely.
I have to get better at recording that content so I can be more consistent on IG. And then from a YouTube perspective, um, I definitely want to have more BTS stuff. Like I enjoy doing like the educational stuff, and I'll always continue to do that
Yeah.
because I enjoy that, and I just like putting that content out there. But like when I did that live where I was doing the product thing, like that was fun. Like I just
Yeah.
enjoyed, doing what I'm doing and just talking at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a lot of fun. So I want to do more BTS stuff like that. But even that is tough because I always feel like when I'm going live, I'm sacrificing from the photo side to go live. Like when I did
Yeah.
that live for the product thing, that thing took 3 times longer than it would have taken me if I wasn't live. Because I would have had a completely different setup. I would have just done things like I could have had that done in 15, 20 minutes and it took me an hour and a half. And then, when I went live, when I was doing the R5 autofocus testing, like the live, like I had to pick a location where I had search. It's like I feel like when I'm
Yeah.
going live, my photo shoot sacrifice. I sacrifice on that end. So I got to figure out how to, balance like being live and being engaged with the live, but still being able to get what I need from the photo side too.
You make a good point there, Tom, because I feel like I've been sacrificing my shoots just because we're recording and doing live and all the other jazz where I can't even play music to even get that vibe of the shoot right. So it's like I feel like I sacrifice more of that because music is very important. Like I said, I love music. That's just like one of the things I just love music. I always have. So it's like nowadays, since I start doing more BTS and just doing lives, it's like I haven't played music in one of my shoots in probably about 4 or 5 months. But it's just like yeah, we're still having a good time, but I still rather have that music to create the vibe. So I definitely feel like that's one of the things where I'm sacrificing more than anything is getting that great vibe, that good chill vibe from the music because I'm doing so much other stuff nowadays.
Now what you could do though, from a music perspective is, and this is what I'm going to do with my sound. Now I've been saying SoundCloud, man, not SoundCloud, man. What is this? 1999 Epidemic Sound.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is basically get some different playlists together, different moods and vibes and that sort of thing, and then play that music because I can play that music on my YouTube and I'm good because I have a subscription, right? So it's like I'm trying to get in the best of both worlds. You get music. It's not going to be the mainstream stuff, but if you can find like songs that still have that vibe, you can play that sound. You can play that music as long as you want. You don't have no problems.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I may start doing it with the Soundstripe because I already have all that stuff downloaded anyway when I have to make the video. So, man, that's actually really pretty good, interesting. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. Like like Ike is saying, it's like the better you get better at it, the more you do it, and I think I just got to get I just got to push through, because it's like if I do a live and I feel like it impacted my photo shoot, it makes me not want to go live the next time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I guess I gotta trust the process and just be like, yo, it's rough right now, but if you just stay consistent with it and you keep doing it, it gets easier.
That's very true. Yeah, it is a whole lot easier now. It's just nowadays I just can't forget the daggone tripod and my phone set like I did yesterday. Like I was literally had plans to go live. Like I even came back to the house to get that tripod and my whole setup to go live for the time we was going to shoot. And then when I get up there, I left it at the car. I was like, yo, I'm just not going back up to that car again.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it was way too many ducks at the park, and then there was crap everywhere. And I was like, I'm just not going to go up there and get it. I said, hell with it.
There's so much stuff that you're taking anyway.
Yeah.
That's the part that's hard too. It's like, you already got so much stuff to even do the photo shoot. Then if you want to do video stuff, you got a whole, you bring the stuff for the video. Then you want to go live, you bring the stuff for the live. Then you got to set all that up. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your light set up, your camera going, your video going, your live going. It just, man, that's a whole 15, 20 minutes just to get everything set up. And maybe I'm just not efficient enough, but it's like, when I was in Vegas and I was setting all that stuff up when we was there for WPPI, I was just like, this is just a lot of work, man, to try to get all of this content. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just so much easier to just show up with my camera, maybe a light, and just take pictures. versus
You ain't lying.
I got to make sure I got my video camera. So then I got to make sure I'm in frame. I'm constantly having to check that. When I want to move to a different spot, I got to go grab that camera too. Then if I'm going live, also I got to grab the camera. I got to grab my phone, make sure everything is in. It's a lot, man. But I know, like, going into, where we are right now, like, video is where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh
pictures
yeah.
are still key, and I think pictures will be something that is relevant for a long time. But video is where it's at right now. Like, you have to have video content.
You
Like,
got
you
to.
look at Instagram, you got to have video content. You
Yeah,
look
you got
at
to.
ads that you see on social media, or even on your TV platforms. Like, it's video production stuff. Like, video is just where we are right now. And so, I think it's the best thing we could do as photographers is definitely hybrid ourselves. Like, you could focus on photography, but you got to be able to do video. You got to be able to offer some kind of video, even if it's just a reel or whatever. Like, you
Yeah.
have to have video content.
I think that's one of the most more exciting things I'm pretty excited about when I get the S3 in a couple weeks is simply because saying that stabilization is a little bit better. I already know you got Canon, so you got your stabilization always been on point. So, but for me, because I was shooting with the A6300 for a long time, like I never really want to do handheld, so I always have like to get in the gimbal and stuff of that nature. And sometimes I just want to shoot handheld because I don't want to set all that stuff up. It's like I'd rather just get some footage of some video footage instead of me want to set up and bring more of that stuff where I'm already like bringing a boatload of stuff just for the photo side of it. So I think that's one of the good things I'm excited about getting the S3 is that maybe like I'll still have my gimbal, of course, but it's just some days you just don't want to feel like grabbing all that stuff. It's going to be pretty nice to have a piece of equipment or a camera that's going to have a little bit more better stabilization, and I'll be able to get just a tad bit more steadier footage. Yeah. And to always try to rely on some other stuff I got to take as
Yep, for sure. Man, hey, I appreciate you chatting it up with me, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in and was in the comments and stuff. I'm gonna make a point to end this because otherwise it'll be 3 hours later.
I know, right?
No, man, I got stuff to do, and
I gotta get set up. I gotta get set up here and everything. I gotta go get set up and go shoot right now, man. So I gotta do the same thing myself.
So
I appreciate it, though. But thank you for having me on here. Thanks for everybody in the chat for coming through, watching us through. I apologize for my audio. I apologize for that. This is my first time using this in the setup, and I know that Godox is not good for this.
You need to hit Godox up and tell him, yo, like your mic is not the plug for going live, man.
Yes, it is not good for this wireless setup and running it through the whole wire and going live. It is not a good setup for this at all. So I do know this now. And maybe honestly, it could be the goer, my grabber that I'm running through. It could just be that, honestly, guys. So maybe I just need to find a different type of setup to not be probably use this grabber that I have, because I also see that I was flickering on screen as well. So that's my apologies. I think it's probably due to the grabber, to be honest, guys, that I got. So, but anyway, I appreciate it, Tog. I really appreciate it. Of course, I'm going to hit you up. But thanks for everybody in the chat. Thanks for having me on your channel, doing this, and I do appreciate it.
Likewise. All right, my man. Everybody have a great, safe Memorial Day. Eat too much. Eat all the stuff that we don't eat any other time, the hot dogs and everything else. That's the one time a year that I'll eat a hot dog is Memorial Day. That's about it. Otherwise, I'm too grossed out by it. But yeah, everybody have a great Memorial Day. Stay safe. And I'll see y'all on the next one.
All right. Peace.